So you've probably heard the following phrases before. Just be mindful, observe your thoughts, let them pass without judgment. And they sound simple enough. And I use phrases like these all the time in my guided meditations. But what if I told you that the practice of mindfulness, when undertaken without the right support, or most importantly, intention, can actually leave you feeling worse. It could potentially amplify your anxiety, your wandering mind, your propensity to overthink. I see it lots, and in this video I want to talk about why mindfulness can sometimes do more harm than good, and most importantly, how to practice it in a way that is actually safe, healing and empowering, all the things it is supposed to be. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a while. You will no doubt have heard me say this before, but mindfulness, or certainly your connection with it or your experience with it, is all about intention. So you can take something simple and non-threatening, like a spoon, for example, which wasn't designed to be dangerous. It's designed to help you eat things like soup. But in the wrong hands, and with the wrong intent, it can cause harm. Just like lots of things, and mindfulness is no different. It's blown up now, it's mainstream. Mindfulness is everywhere. It's in schools, it's in places of work and offices, it's in wellness apps, it's all over the place, which I think is amazing because, in my opinion, awareness, presence, stillness, all those sort of things are immensely powerful natural tools. But at the same time, it's also become big business. There is lots of money to be made from mindfulness. And when something, or the idea of mindfulness, and when something becomes profitable, it draws attention. And all of a sudden, you get people writing articles, making videos, not because they care about the practice or the benefits of the practice or how it could actually change your life for the better, but because they know it's going to get clicks, which is going to make them money. I get it. It is now all part and parcel of the world we live in, unfortunately, whether you like it or not. But when I start seeing headlines appear in my inbox and on my phone when I'm scrolling about, or warning people about the dangers of mindfulness, as though it's something people should fear or avoid, honestly, that frustrates me. Because what it does is it sows more doubt into the minds of those who are already struggling, and it creates uncertainty and fear where there should be empowerment and balance, and at the very least curiosity and a willingness to try to help yourself, to try mindful practices. To me, and I appreciate that not everyone is going to share my opinion, and that obviously is okay, but that kind of scaremongering I think is irresponsible. And no offence to the clickbait crew, the clickbait massive, but people who are overwhelmed, people who are struggling with anxiety, with fear, or depression, people dealing with grief, emotional trauma, they don't need clickbait, and I speak from experience. They need support, they need guidance, and they need help. And let's not forget, mindfulness and mindful practices cost nothing. And in a world which is becoming more and more expensive literally by the day, these innate practices, God-given practices like meditation, like breath work, like the cultivation of presence, they have never been, at least to my mind, more relevant. So I guess after that mini rant, for me to do anything other than offer guidance would be nothing short of hypocritical, I think. So if you've ever tried mindfulness and you found yourself struggling with it, the idea of it, the execution of it, if you felt like it made things worse or it just didn't work for you, then This section that I'm about to do now, which I'm going to chapter in the description below, is for you because I want to share what I have learned over the last 16, 17 years. And not just from teaching and talking about it, but from living it, from my life experience. And I honestly believe that if you have struggled, it really could help. So, good place to start. Observing your thoughts, or even better, observing your thoughts without judgment, as if that is something you can just do without practice. It's a little bit like dropping someone who's never learned to swim into the deep end of a swimming pool or out into the vast expanse of the ocean, and hoping that they will just figure it out on the way down. Observing yourself without judgment isn't the starting point. It is something that you grow into. But to get there, in my humble opinion, you are going to need to be introduced to something that I think is far, far more important, certainly in the early stages of your journey into mindfulness. And I'm talking about acceptance, I'm talking about self-reflection and loving kindness. And those three things to me mean compassion, they mean forgiveness for yourself and for others, and they mean creating space to actually be human. I think it's really important to develop emotional resilience and stability, and I've discussed this in previous videos, especially around meditation and, the wandering thoughts and the wandering mind, before you start sitting in stillness or in silence. And that doesn't mean ignoring your pain, whether that's emotional or physical, or sugarcoating how you feel. It means creating a supportive environment within and without, or inside and out, where you are able to observe your thoughts and your feelings, no matter how loud they may be, without becoming overwhelmed by them. And that is where emotional anchors come in, or at least that's what I call them. And I've talked about them lots in previous videos. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll realize this in a second. But an anchor, or an emotional anchor, is the thing that, in my eyes, keeps you tethered to the truth of who you really are, especially when your thoughts start to drift or fear, self-doubt start creeping in. It is what holds you steady when your mind tries to convince you that you are not enough, or that you're all on your own, or that you're stuck, or that you're broken. And it could come in the form of a message that you receive from an angel card, reminding you of your strength, your purpose and your potential, or it could be an affirmation that realigns your focus and brings you back to that love and that calm and that inner peace. It could be as simple as returning to your breath. I've done lots of videos on that. It's a slow, natural, calming, grounding rhythm that reminds you that in that moment, or in this moment, you are safe and you are in control. Whatever you choose to use, your anchor, your emotional anchor, is there to help you remember these simple truths. And this, to me, is really, really important. So try and remember, you are not your pain, you are not your past, and you are not your thoughts. You, me, all of us, everything, we are the energy and the awareness beneath all of that stuff. And we are more powerful. You are more powerful than you know or you have been told. I promise you that much. So at least from my perspective, the stuff that I just talked about is going to help you create a strong foundation that can make mindful practices such beautiful, transformational experiences, the sort of things that I talk about lots. And to finish, and I want to reiterate that talk about the dangers of anything, really, in isolation, if we're being sensible, without acknowledging the full picture, or the flip side, or the potential benefits, isn't educational. You're not educating someone. That's not providing a balanced perspective or point of view. It's just promoting an agenda-driven narrative, promoting agenda-driven content. And whether you are chasing those clicks or you're working to discredit holistic practices altogether, if you are only telling one half of the story, you are leading people with bias, and that, I think, is wrong. People deserve the whole picture. They deserve to be given the tools and the context and the truth so that they can actually make their own informed decisions that actually serve them, help them moving forwards with life. So, in closing, it's a shorter video than my normal ones. Mindfulness is not going to work for everyone. It's not for everybody, but nothing is and nothing does. So it's not perfect, but like I just said, nothing is. However, it's also not dangerous. But I think what is dangerous is withholding the support and the guidance, the information or the knowledge that makes something so natural and free work so effectively. So yeah, there you go. I have strong feelings on that. Could you tell? Thank you so much for watching. I'm really grateful, truly grateful. And if you have any comments or thoughts, whether you disagree with me, whether you agree with me, whether you want to get into mindfulness, you want to try, please leave them below in the comments. And it goes without saying, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you want for more content like this. Apologies, I appreciate if you are someone who has watched my content previously. I've taken a couple of weeks away from these type of videos purely because I've been so busy and there are only so many hours in the day. But thank you so much for staying with me and watching. I promise there'll be much more of this stuff coming in the future, every week from now on. So wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, stay safe, hold on to your happiness, and I will see you soon. Soon. Stay mindful.